Good afternoon. Out in the woods, walking the dog. So I wanted to do a video. I've done a couple, had to erase them, regarding the events that have been happening. I don't think we have to go into too much detail of the horrific nature in which the gentleman died in Minneapolis. It's unacceptable. You see a despicable human being afforded the responsibility and the power of being a law enforcement officer, which I don't envy for anyone. It's a thankless job. It's a very difficult job, and I don't believe the majority of those who have the job probably deserve the job or are capable of handling the responsibility. And that's their fault for not being self-aware. It's also our fault as a society for allowing that to happen. And I think a lot of that responsibility goes on to the guys who work with those guys. So we see this man die over the course of 9+ minutes, I believe. It was horrific to watch. It was really tough to watch. Pleading for his mother and pleading for his life while a fucking piece of shit with skinny, useless arms put his knee in his neck and his hand in his pocket. And that had a real horrific effect on me, and obviously our culture. So in response to that, protests broke out across the country, which I'm very happy about. I believe it is our responsibility and it's our rights, exercise our right to protest. And it's an excellent form of getting our voice heard. I think the pandemic, us being locked under government orders, has made us very anxious. I think if anybody's been in a large crowd, a party, a cookout, a concert, you know that energy is something you can feel, and it affects the people around you. You're at a show and everybody's singing along. What a great energy, what a great vibe. That's fucking great. If you're ever somewhere where a fight breaks out, it's bad. It doesn't feel good. And you can see some people, dysfunctional people, either lose their shit or they take advantage of the situation to do negativity. You see people get scared and do dumb things, and shit happens. Now, what happened in our protests recently was businesses were burned, people were beaten, general chaos. Cop cars burned and flipped over, and just damage and mayhem. And I don't think the majority of the people protesting are guilty at all. Probably 99% have good intentions and were doing the right thing. But it doesn't take much of a percent to fuck it up. And, okay, it got fucked up. My issue, and what I'm really frightened about and concerned about, is the justification. There's been a whole bunch of memes and posts of people justifying violence and damaging of property and businesses, and somebody told me, hey, Target's going to get their insurance money. It's just some big corporate entity. I get it. Fuck Target. I get it. But I don't think anybody's thinking about, that's where those people get their groceries. They live in food deserts, a lot of people across the country. Nutrition and lack thereof has been a big cause of the people getting sick from this COVID. The same neighborhoods we're talking about have a high propensity of people to get sick and die. And a lot of that comes down to health and nutrition. Not that it targets Whole Foods, but It's not a bodega. Second thing is, businesses aren't coming back to that area. You've taken away opportunity for people. And we know the one thing that creates equality is opportunity. People need to work. This pandemic's created where 1 out of 3 businesses are going to go out of business. Never mind now they're burned down. You look around communities where there's no business, there's just chaos, and everything's crumbled down. That's how people treat it. You walk into a nice bathroom, you try to keep it nice. You walk into a bathroom full of graffiti and piss on the floor, if you get piss on the floor, you ain't wiping it up. It just adds to the problem. So, some fucking idiots online are perpetuating that it's okay to burn and loot. One person quoted to me said that it's okay to burn and loot because they are burning and looting symbols of capitalist oppression. So where do we draw that line? Do we start burning down people's homes because their loan that they got because they have a job is a symbol of capitalist oppression? Do we take people into the streets and beat them to death because of their perceived symbols of capitalist oppression? Where do we draw the line? Sad thing is the people that are saying this the most don't live in these neighborhoods. They've either moved out of them or they never even came close to them. They haven't done shit, ever. They just consume. And now they virtue signal online. And they think that's a real thing. They go to one march. They write fucking snarky, somewhat half-ass intellectual comments online. They regurgitate dumb talking points. Do you remember years ago when shit was popping off, 2014-ish, and most conservatives and most law enforcement made excuses for what was happening? And, we'd hear things like, well, don't resist, don't do crimes, and you don't have to worry about it. And most of us were like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then Black Lives Matter came, and instead of just going, having some empathy and listening and trying to make changes, stupid people said, all lives matter. Fucking all lives matter. Yeah, no shit. All right, we don't have to get into that. But of course all lives matter. All human beings matter. What sounds equally as stupid right now is the premise that being upset about burning and looting our communities means we don't care about people getting beaten to death or being oppressed. What a fucking shallow-brained kind of thinking is that? I'm capable of multi-thinking, and most of us are. I don't think hurting an innocent person in response to an innocent person getting hurt does anything. In fact, it just gives our shitty president some ammunition to do shitty things. Last night, he used tear gas and flashbangs for a photo op to then threaten our nation with military force because of a small percent of idiots did dumb shit. And instead of us all coming together and speaking against idiots doing dumb shit, people justified it. And now we know already these protests had agitators. Left-wing and right-wing extremists and opportunists agitated the situation. And now our president is sparking civil war. I have a family, a small business. I've never been rich. Nobody in my family's ever been rich. I've never come from affluence. I try to live humbly. I try to be a good person. I try to live with empathy. It's not okay to burn. It's not okay to loot. It's not okay to oppress. It's not okay to be narrow-minded and not put yourself in other people's shoes. It's not okay to remain ignorant. It's our responsibility to gain knowledge and be better. I'm not seeing that, and I'm afraid that I don't know as a nation we can recover. And having 3 little babies, that's a frightening fucking thought. I don't have the answers, and neither do you. So what I ask is you folks with no skin in the game and people living in the suburbs who can go home to their little neighborhoods and have never really suffered, and you feel good about yourself online by virtue signaling and going to one march, shut the fuck up. Just shut the fuck up. Be a good person and shut the fuck up. Peace.